Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal, everybody? Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Happy Fortune and Freedom Friday. It's your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston. You are tuned into another episode of SR Daily. We're here with another episode of SR Daily, episode 538. 538 episodes. And this is week 108 that we are wrapping up. And I'm super excited, man, super grateful to be here once again to share some news with you guys, share some inspiration with you guys. I was up pretty late last night, man. I was up late doing a couple of different things. I was scripting, and I don't really script things. I've written scripts, right? But I was scripting a video because I am about to introduce some things, and I just wanted to make sure I got all of the thoughts because a lot of times, so I know I'm a great writer, and I know I'm a great speaker. A lot of times when speaking, I don't always say every single thing that I may want to say. I don't hit every point. That's why writing, taking notes, writing outlines, writing full scripts, all of those things are super important. So you hit every single point that you want to make, because just speaking passionately with from spirit is great. It's powerful. I've done it. I do it. People love when I speak just like from the heart, from the spirit. I love when I speak from the heart and from the spirit, but it's not always, I don't always hit every point that I want to hit. So I was up last night scripting this video. I was up last night doing some research on live streaming. I told you guys I got this new device, live streaming device, the Mevo Start, a small camera that's specifically for live streaming. And I'm super excited. I was going to use it yesterday. I didn't. I brought it with me to Queensbridge, but there was some complications with the delivery, and so I got behind, and with the food distribution delivery I got behind and I didn't set it up, but I plan to use it tonight. I plan to live stream tonight, probably on general platform YouTube, right? But I'm figuring out, all right, what to stream, like what long streams I can do. We do the show live Monday through Friday. Sunday mornings we do Sunday Light. And I want to do something that like in the evening. Sunday Light is pretty long, it's an hour, but I want to do something even longer, an hour and a half, 2 hours, and sometimes even longer. And I want to figure out the right platform. Like I want to do one platform for those long streams, not like here. That's our daily. We do Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Sunday Light, we do Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. The next platform I use is going to be just one platform. And so I was researching that. I was looking at Twitch. I know a lot of people use Twitch. So Twitch has been around for a while, but it's still you can still find space there, and there aren't that many people. Twitch is really games, right? But people who play games are human. There's not really a lot of what I would bring, inspiration, right? Storytelling in the way that I tell stories about life challenges and beauties, and I could bring more of my storytelling, right, around certain situations to Twitch, right, or to whatever platform I choose to use, whether it's Twitch, starting a whole new thing, or it's YouTube and just building on the subscribers I have, right? We got 527 subscribers on YouTube just about 2 months ago. We was under 500. I was at like a 488. I needed 12 subscribers. We have grown past that. I wanted to hit 500, and we are now 430 something, 470 something subscribers. If it's 527, it's 473 away from 1,000 subscribers, and we're gonna get there because we're never gonna stop. Right? Truth Lover, what's going on? Sefu Sankofa, what's going on, my brother? Peace and love. Happy Fortune and Freedom Friday, man. Listen, once again, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston. You are tuned into SR Daily. Let's hit the share button, share this live with a few folks, get a few folks into the chat right before we start the show. Once again, it is Friday, January. Today is the 8th. Today's the 9th. Today's January 9th. Friday, January 9th, 2026. Almost at 2025 again. I'm still getting used to the 2026. Second Friday of the year. Hope you guys are feeling well. Hope you guys had a pretty blessed week, right? Despite whatever challenges are there, because there are always going to be challenges there. On a personal level, there's challenges. On a global scale, there's challenges. Nationally, in your family, is going to be challenges. There's always going to be challenges. In spite of the challenges, I hope that you guys still had a beautiful week. I hope you guys still saw and see the beauty in waking up every day, right? Being able to pursue your goals and live your life, man. Hope that you guys uh thoroughly enjoying life, man. Again, challenges are always going to be there. People are going to die, right? Sometimes, obviously, more tragically than others. Uh, People are going to break up. Heartbreak is going to be experienced, right? It's going to be a lot of challenges every single day that we are alive. Some more than others, yes. So, in spite of those challenges, I hope that you guys enjoyed your week. Once again, last intro. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Morris, and this is episode 538 of SRDaily. As we wrap up week 108 weeks on the air, we're going to get the show started. We're going to start with our first segment of the day. Today's first segment, when it's beautiful, it's a beautiful day outside. I can't wait to go outside, get some of the sunlight, get some of this air. Today's first segment is a quote of the day. Today's quote, yo, Dritty Vision, what's the deal, my brother? Peace and love. Thanks for tuning in. I owe you a visit, my brother. My apologies. Today's quote is, ideas are easy. The hard part is waking up every day and shaping them into reality. That's Steve Jobs. Once again, today's quote of the day says, ideas are easy. The hard part is waking up every day and shaping them into reality. Now, I remember growing up in Queensbridge, right? And we'd be on the block. I mean, even before like hustling, like just on the block playing basketball, playing manhunt in the park, right? We'd be on the block. And so many people, my peers, my friends, the elders, the coaches, right? Basketball, football coaches, just the older guys in the neighborhood, the older women in the neighborhood, friends, mothers or fathers, uncles or aunts, big brothers and big sisters. They will all have so many great ideas about things. Right? They're like, yo, you know what y'all should do? Y'all should do this. Da-da-da. You know what? That's like that. That's like that because of this. We should do this. I'm talking about 20, 30 years ago, right? And even before, I'm talking about as long as I can remember being in Queensbridge and even in South Jamaica, Queens, but I specifically remember being in Queensbridge on the block, so many different people sharing so many ideas that some ideas were like trash, right? But some ideas were like, yo, that's a dope idea. You should do that. 20, 30 years ago, even more. Many of those people have never acted on any of those ideas. Many of those people have never, ever acted on any of those ideas. Even now, across all demographics, urban, suburban, rich, poor, black, white, gay, straight, tall, short, healthy, unhealthy, across any demographic that you could think about, right? Any demographic. People have great ideas that they don't follow through on. People have great ideas that they don't have the ambition and discipline and the focus to pursue and bring into fruition. A lot of people got great ideas, Steve Jobs mentioned, but the hard part is waking up every single day and shaping them into reality. Uh, Part of that, a part of the reason that is because a lot of people, although they have great ideas, they feel they don't have the resources, they feel they don't have the education, they feel they don't have the network, right? They don't know where to start to bring those ideas into fruition. And a lot of people can't see beyond their current circumstance. So, like, you may have an idea for a housing complex, right? Something like that, let's say. But if you're struggling with housing yourself, you never pursue the idea. A lot of people. Now, some do. Some use their situations and their challenges to um, foster new idea creation, and to go forward like that, right? But many don't. Many can't see beyond their current struggle. I wrote a piece years ago when I was messing with my man Dritty Diamond regularly, right? When we was working together hard, doing photo shoots, and like we was spending a lot of time together. He came to Queensbridge and we took some photos on the roof, right? And I wrote a piece called "Looking Forward." And I wish I could pull it up right now to read exactly what it says. But the looking forward piece was essentially about like being able to see beyond my circumstances. Like I said, something like I knew that as long as I could continue to dream and envision a future beyond what I was experiencing on a daily basis. And at that time, it was, I was physically unhealthy, right? My back injury was in and out. The herniated disc was messing with me more than now. Right now is like nothing. But then back injury, a lot of challenges with my mom, a lot of challenges with my little brother. It was a lot going on. That was, 2010, maybe 2011. Uh, it was the circumstances weren't favorable, right? Financially, I was really struggling financially. I had no source of consistent income. I would, buy stuff and sell it. And since I wasn't even selling incense then. I was selling like t-shirts and I was doing odd jobs still with my aunt for my dad's company, right? Leroy and Sons Industrial Cleaning Company. We were doing that. Yeah, it was a real tough time. It was a real tough time, and I wrote that piece because I knew that as long as I kept dreaming, as long as I kept stepping forward, things would change. I had to see beyond my circumstances. I had to see beyond, and even before that time, I actually wrote that about previous time when I was depressed and I was in Queensbridge and I was hustling and I was like evaded the police and like had beef and drama and the death wish and all of that stuff. I knew that if I could see beyond those circumstances, things will get better. And by the time I met Dritty, right, and was doing the photo shoots with him, things were better. Again, not ideal, but they were a lot better than they once were. And today, they're a lot better than they were then. Again, when you really take, I like how Sefu says it, when you take an analysis, self-analysis, you can see like I've progressed. Although things may not be ideal, I've made great progress in pursuit of my goals, in pursuit of becoming the person that I want to become. Right. And so yeah, Les Brown once said that the wealthiest place in the world was the cemetery. How many people have died with ideas in their heads that they never explored and built out? Too many. Again, the wealthiest place in the world is the cemetery. The wealthiest place in the world is the cemetery. How many people have died with ideas in their heads that they never explored and built out? Too freaking many. And it's a shame. And that's something that, if you know me, you know, I do not, that's not happening with my life. I am exploring every idea. Even if I explore it and I'm like, all right, I wanted to be a TV network owner, right? I bought the fucking Roku TV shit, right? Got the network, had it set up, launched it. It was like, and I paid for a long time, three something a month, right? And yeah, it was like I still want to do it, and I'm still going to do it. It just wasn't the time. I wasn't putting the energy behind it. I had some other stuff going on that was, you know, priority in terms of thought, in terms of energy. I explored it. I let that shit go. Right? I absolutely let that shit go. Yo, it's clearly Mara. What's going on, my sister? Peace and love. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, let's move right along to our second segment of the day. Sefu said some people lack the discipline to develop their ideas. Absolutely. I mean, a great deal of people, a lot of people, most people lack the discipline to develop their ideas, right? And I think the lack of discipline comes from, I mean, it comes from a lot of things, right? So we're not gonna, but it also comes from the lack of knowing your why. Like, why do you want to bring this idea into fruition? Why did this idea come to you? Why do you have this idea? What can you do with this idea? Where can this idea take you? And sometimes one idea can lead to another idea. A perfect example. Not only did I always want to be, TV network owner, a TV show, talk show host, right? I wanted to be like, I wanted to run a freaking school, right? I'm like, yo, like, I don't just want to teach the school. I don't just want to teach. I want to run a school. I want to build a school. And we did some things around building education, right? Building schools in LA and stuff like that, right? My brain coaching course, right, led me to develop something, right, that I'm gonna launch. I'm gonna post about it today, most likely. If not today, definitely tomorrow or sometime this weekend. Which creating that then led to me saying, "Oh snap, that can lead to this." Right, because there's language around it, there's different courses around it. I'm like, that's a school. That's a field of study, which is going to become a school. I'm like, yo, one idea leads to another. Stepping stones, one after the other. Right? Mona said, you make the color blue look good. Oh, thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Happy Fortune Freedom Friday. Fear is a dream killer. Absolutely. Fear is a dream killer. Doubt is a dream killer. Doubt. Oh, man. Fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are dream killers. Fear of failure, fear of what people will think, fear of success, doubting that it's for you, doubting that you can do it, right? Low self-esteem, all of those things work hand in hand. But let's go to our second segment of the day. We need some news of the day, and family, we are going to read tragedy. Another tragedy. Happened about a week ago. News just started coming out. I saw it yesterday. Dr. Janelle Greensmith, a Black woman, a midwife who advocated for Black maternal health, has died of childbirth complications. Dr. Janelle Greensmith, a midwife who advocated for Black maternal health, has died of childbirth complications. This is freaking sad. Um, let's read a few posts. Let's read two articles. One post from Instagram, Feminist, where I first saw it, and then we're gonna read saw it, and then we're gonna read an article in NBC News. So on Instagram, Feminist page I follow. Actually, I don't even follow somebody else. Yeah, no, I do follow Feminist. Dr. Janelle Greensmith's mission as a certified nurse midwife was simple: to provide affirming, life-saving care to mothers, particularly Black mothers, who are 3 times more likely to die in childbirth due to systemic racism and lack of access to affordable and quality health care. Dr. Greensmith, 31, lost her life on January 2nd, 2026, due to complications during the delivery of her child, a death that the American College of Nurse Midwives called a profound failure of the systems meant to protect birthing people. Her death underscores the persistent and well-documented reality that Black women, regardless of education, income, or professional expertise, face disproportionate risk during pregnancy and childbirth due to systemic racism and failures in care, said the American College of Nurse Midwives in a statement. In 2021, Dr. Greensmith received her nurse midwife certification and became a doctor of nursing practice in 2024. In a video posted last year on her Instagram, I got goosebumps, man. This is so fucked up. In a video posted last year on her Instagram, Dr. Greensmith shared why she was called to midwifery care, saying, "I wanted to be a part of the solution and step into the role as a provider and listen to my patients when they are in pain. I wanted to be the provider who answered questions and went above and beyond to allow my patients to feel comfortable in their pregnancy journey and in labor." Dr. Janelle Greensmith and the countless other Black women who have lost their lives during pregnancy and childbirth due to the completely preventable Black mental health crisis, Black maternal health crisis, should still be here with us. The health and well-being of Black birthing people should be the highest priority this moment and beyond. I got goosebumps because I wrote a script right years ago. It was called her mother's child, right? Your mother's child, and it is about a girl who is conceived out of rape, right? So, man rapes a woman, college graduation night, gets her pregnant, right? Nowhere to be found ever. The mother, she contracted, he gave her a disease, a STD, when he raped her, and the mother gave birth and she died during childbirth, right? That's the premise of the film, and then it goes on to, the script rather goes on to highlight how she is just like her mother, although she never met her mother, although her mother died at childbirth, although she was born out of rape. People who knew her mother, her aunts, her uncles, right, family, they're like, yo, you are your mother's child from your yeah, it was deep, but so that hits. Let's read this article real quick from the NBC News. Her worst fear has come to pass. Midwife who advocated for Black women dies after giving birth. Janelle Greensmith, 31, was determined to reduce racial disparities in maternal health care. Her family hopes her legacy will prompt change. Charleston, South Carolina. This is written this morning at 5 a.m. by Bracy Harris and Elizabeth Chuck. Janelle Greensmith had attended hundreds of births as a midwife. Now it was her turn. As she and her husband prepared to welcome their first child, Greensmith set up a pink and rose gold nursery in their Spartanburg, South Carolina home. She labeled each dresser drawer with the tiny clothes her daughter would soon wear. She shared ultrasound images with relatives, growing more excited as her February due date grew closer. But Greensmith, 31, was also nervous, according to her sister. She had devoted much of her career to improving health outcomes for women in her position, Black mothers-to-be who face disproportionate risk. Black women are 3 times more likely to die in pregnancy and in childbirth than any other race. In hearing these alarming statistics, I wanted to do something about it. I got goosebumps. Black women are so disrespected, unprotected, neglected. Man, I wanted to do something about it, Greensmith said in 2024. In the 2024 Instagram post explaining why she became a certified nurse midwife, I wanted to be part of the solution. Friends and colleagues say she achieved her goal, fiercely advocating for safer, more respectful Black maternal health care in her community and beyond. That made it all the more heartbreaking when Green Smith died on New Year's Day, less than a week after giving birth to her daughter. Her worst fear has come to pass, her older sister Selena Green told NBC News. Green Smith had developed preeclampsia while pregnant, a condition characterized by high blood pressure that can be fatal. Because of the risk, doctors often recommend early delivery. On December 26, 8 weeks ahead of her due date, Green Smith gave birth via cesarean section at Prisma Health Greenville Memorial Hospital, according to Nicole Wardlaw, her husband's aunt, who is acting as a spokesperson for the family as they grieve. The baby girl, named Eden, is currently in the neonatal intensive care unit, NICU. Green Smith initially seemed to recover from the C-section, but in the days afterward, her incision site ruptured, Wardlaw said. Doctors tried repairing it at her bedside, but later rushed her into emergency surgery. As the operation ended, there were complications, Wardlaw said. Green Smith went into cardiac arrest and died days later. An unimaginable loss, her husband Daquan Smith wrote on Instagram, alongside a photo of the couple on their wedding day, holding hands and beaming. Janelle was deeply loved and her presence will always be felt. Smith declined to be interviewed. Warlow said he is juggling his grief with the joy of meeting his newborn. How freaking hard must that be? You grateful your first child, but then your wife dies right after giving birth. This is not the life that he imagined, Warlaw said. Prisma Health, which owns the hospital where Green Smith died, as well as the Greenville Midwifery Clinic where she worked, did not respond to questions about her death. President and CEO Mark Ohala described her as not only a trusted colleague in women's health, but also a cherished friend to many here at Prisma Health. Green Smith was born and raised in Charleston. Her mother was a home health nurse, and Green Smith said from a young age that she wanted to be a nurse, too. She tried on her mother's scrubs, and she pretended to operate on her Barbie dolls, her sister said. Dozens of mourners gathered at a vigil Wednesday evening at Forest Park Playground in the neighborhood where Green Smith grew up and released pink balloons into the sky. Propped up near a pool where she and her sister once swam as children with photos capturing Green Smith's recent milestone. Proud graduate, confident professional, and radiant mom to be. Frederica Bailey, a longtime nurse, recalled Green Smith as a teenager, full of questions about the profession. Bailey warned her that if she worked as a nurse midwife, her hours wouldn't be her own. But the thought of working weekends and holidays was no deterrent. She walked into her calling, Bailey said. So many of us go through life not knowing what our purpose is. Green Smith earned an undergraduate degree in nursing from the University of South Carolina in 2016 and briefly worked in the neurology department, but it wasn't a fit. In a TikTok she posted 3 months ago, Green Smith said that she decided that women empowerment was my thing and took a job in a high-risk labor and delivery unit. Kendall Beach, a former co-worker, said Green Smith was a good listener. She treated everybody like humans, Beach said. Green Smith then went for a master's degree in nurse midwifery, followed by a doctorate in nursing, both from Frontier Nursing University in Kentucky. On Instagram, Green Smith proudly called herself the Locked Midwife, a reference to the twist she styled her hair in. She was bubbly and energetic, quick to earn the trust of the women she supported through their birth. Man, there's a lot more to read. We gotta move on. You guys can look it up. Doe Wiz, what's going on? Peace and love. Mary Jo Biden, my sister, what's going on? Thank you for creating awareness about it. I read about it when I was in college, and it was extremely unbelievable. Thank you so much for being here, my sister. Yeah, a tragedy. Mona said that's crazy. Her life and death's purpose was to bring awareness to the disproportionate maternal death rates and to bring about change. Her death will not be in vain. Ashayo. They definitely push C-sections on us. There are so many emergency C-sections that moms are pressured to do. That's a fact. I know a lot of women who've had C-sections. Oh man, family, let's move right along to the third segment of the day. Today's third segment, change the energy up a little bit. It's a tip of the day always. Today's tip is to start scheduling white space days. They are absolutely necessary. What are white space days, you ask? I'm going to tell you. White space days are days where you pretty much schedule nothing but being. They're not days off. They are not they're not days off. They are days left uncolonized where nothing is allowed to demand you. They're not days where you have meetings. There's no quick calls, no emails, no endless scrolling disguised as rest. They're days you protect like your life depends on it. On white space days, you think without producing, right? You can think. You don't got to always create, right? That's one thing. At me as a creator, you don't always got to be creating. I've often said for years, sometimes the best thing you can do as an artist, as a creator, is nothing. Just breathe, just be, right? So yeah, on white space days, you think without producing, you walk without tracking, and this is when ideas come uninvited, when your nervous system exhales and relaxes, and your intuition gets the mic, right? Your intuition, like let your soul speak, let your intuition speak. Too often it's our mind speaking, it's our heart speaking, it's not our intuition. Your intuition is guiding you. Your intuition is that inner knowing that knows 20 years down the line what's needed not only for you, but for humanity, right? And this on white space days, this is how real strategy forms. You get really clear on your goals and direction, and your next move reveals itself. I've always done white space days, but they've been like sporadic, right? Not consistent, not scheduled, not structured. It's like days where I'm just doing nothing, but I'm breathing. I'm not focused on creating. Now what I do on those days, sometimes I may end up talking to more people, right? Playing the game more, right? Which we are going to work out, right? But yeah, on white space days, real strategy forms. You get really clear on your goals and direction, and your next move reveals itself. White space days essentially is where less effort produces more result, and thus the concept less is more, right? Thus the phrase less is more. That's the tip of the day. Let's move right along before we get out of here, family, to our build of the day. Today's build, right? Um, perception is really everything. With AI, there are pros and there are cons, right? So once again, perception really is everything. You see the light flashing. I'm recording this. Perception is everything. With AI, there are pros and there are cons, and depending on the lens that you look through, that'll be the position you take. So yesterday, a dear friend and sister critiqued my Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses. Understandably so. Cool. Right? She mentioned how people would be able to record folks while folks think it's just a regular conversation. I said this has always happened, right? Like there's always been creeps. Always been creeps. Yes, some tools make certain things easier. Yes, but a creep is gonna find a way to be a freaking creep. People looking people's windows, stand in a tree, right? Hide behind a dumpster, all types of shit, which is all fucked up. It's all fucked up. It's all fucked up. But people do this shit. All right. She also mentioned how the glasses are indicative of the world being more surveilled, right? Of more surveillance, of us being more surveilled. And like, yeah, that's true, but like they got the fucking satellites, man. Like our computers, your phone, smartphone or not, can be tracked, right? Like all this shit could be tracked. So I stated that the glasses also give more access, right? With things like live translation. Yesterday morning, I was messing around. She's saying stuff in Spanish, it's translating to English in my ear. Then I speak in English, and then it translates to Spanish on the phone, and I show her. So it's like ways to have conversation with people who you may have had difficulty having conversation with before, right? And there's so many more benefits to AI in general, to being, to technology. I am a futurist. I am a futurist. King J Tom, what's going on, my brother? I am a futurist. I am tech forward. I hear her and I understand her, but that's not the position I take on the subject. And this is why it's important to know yourself. It's important to know you. It's important to be rooted in your truth, right? Because people are always going to share their truth. They're always going to share their perspective. They're always going to share what works for them, right? Or what doesn't work for them. Some people have, based on the knowledge, based on past experiences, they have different fears, they have different inhibitions, they have different likes and dislikes, so to speak. It's okay to know yourself. All right. So I love that. I love that sister who I was having this back and forth with. I love her dearly. She's a dear sister and a dear friend of mine. I love her dearly. But I'm tech forward, right? So we're gonna get the glasses. We're gonna get the other glasses eventually with the display on the lens, right? Yeah, I'm tech forward, man. And I don't apologize for that. All right. I'm actually the business I'm building is tech and pretty much AI. Right. The new business I'm building is tech, is AI. All right. So yeah, man. That's the build of the day. All right. Drop your comments in the chat if you have a thought, a perspective, a perception around tech, around AI, around meta glasses. Right. Are you for it? Are you against it? What are the pros? What are the cons that you see? What are the things that you like about AI, about the advancement in tech? What are some things you don't like? All right. One thing I love about the advancement of tech is, and this is controversial, right? But the ability to live longer, the ability to, like, people are 3D printing freaking organs, right? Like, oh, it's scary. It's like, uh, people are 3D printing organs, dog. Like, you don't have to die when you die, right? When you're quote unquote dying, that don't have to be your time, right? And of course, positives and negatives, pros and cons. But I love that shit, man. I love that shit. I love that shit. I told you guys a few weeks ago, I talked to my daughter, my children, about cloning. And Mona and I watched a film about cloning, Swan Song, right, with Maharashtra Ali. And the film was pretty much, he was dying. He had a wife and child, and I think she was pregnant with a new baby. He had a sickness, and he didn't tell her he had a sickness. And so he found out about this institution, and they was like, "Yo, listen, we could clone you, and we could download your consciousness, download your memory, right? Um, so either you tell your wife that you're dying and you die, and you don't clone you, or you don't tell your wife that you're dying and you just disappear and the clone replaces you, and that's it." I was like, "Yo, I would absolutely do that shit. I would absolutely do it, especially if my wife has no idea of knowing that I've been cloned. If the memories are the same, like everything is, yeah, man. All right, I'm for the shit. All right, and I know that everybody's not. But listen, guys, that's the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We gotta get out of here, man. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, Sean Sugar Marston. This is episode 538 of SR Daily. Episode 538 of SR Daily. Friday, January 9th, 2026. Closing out week 108. Next week is week 109. I'm super excited. I'm super grateful to continue pushing forward. Listen, guys, have a beautiful day. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Remember, it ain't getting knocked down. That's the problem. It's staying down. So get up! The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. And remember to join us next week, Monday through Friday, same time, same place, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and of course, Instagram Live. That's our dailies with personality meets excitement. Peace. No, with personality meets enlightenment. Peace and love. Holla at you guys.